What's going on, everyone? So I saw a interesting Bleacher Report article that I wanted to talk about, right? And essentially, the Los Angeles Lakers have Dalton Knecht, and he's basically a lost cause at this point, right? Very promising guy that just, came in, kicked the door in. All of us were like, oh my God, Lakers got the steal of the draft, all of that. And then kind of had his, his ups and downs, like started off lights out, kind of had his up and down period, kind of was going through a little bit of struggle, rookie, shooter, it's going to happen, right? And then he ends up getting traded. And since the trade, he hasn't been the same. And to JJ Redick's credit, he's been trying to get him back. He's been trying to get him kind of back in rhythm and was playing him heavy minutes and, getting him shots and just kind of trying to relight that spark. And it just hasn't worked. And he's fallen out of the rotation again. And I just think he's a lost cause at this point for the Lakers. I wouldn't be shocked if he ends up getting traded somewhere and immediately just re-sparks and lights up and, all of a sudden everyone's like, oh, look, the Lakers, I could just see it. I just think his confidence is gone. I think it's mental. I think he's checked out when it comes to the Lakers. And I think the only way he's going to really be able to salvage his career is to go somewhere else. Right? Well, in the Bleacher Report article, talked about that and Dalton Knecht and how, he's kind of getting in this, he needs a change of scenery, right? And then it also mentioned the Utah Jazz and Brice Sensabaugh and how, again, same thing, Brice Sensabaugh looked very promising, looked like he could be this legit two-way 3-and-D guy, known as a shooter, guy that come in, kick the door open, and since then is kind of the odd man out. And he's failed to really kind of crack the rotation for the Utah Jazz, and Utah's playing him fewer and fewer minutes. He's playing him fewer and fewer role. You look at even the last game that they played against the Oklahoma City Thunder, 6 minutes, only 2 points in those 6-minute times. He's essentially the odd man out, right? Just like Dalton Knecht's been the odd man out for the Lakers. And so the proposal in this Bleacher Report article was to essentially just swap the two. Like easy, clean swap. We have a guy that that's just fallen out of favor with us, that needs a change of scenery. You have a guy that's fallen out of favor with you that needs a change of scenery. Let's swap them and hope that they work out. And I'm not going to lie, I think the Lakers would win that trade, right? Both guys are similar. They're both looked at as shooters. They're both looked at as, guys that can light it up and get hot, right? Like, once one goes, they just keep raining. But Sensabaugh is a better defender. He's 6'6", where Dalton Knecht is 6'7", but Sensabaugh has a 7'1" wingspan. So he's an inch shorter, but longer, more athletic, right? And better defensively. I mean, Dalton Knecht, based on the draft combine, Dalton Knecht tested the best, right? With shuttle and all that other stuff. But Sensabaugh is projected to be the better 3-and-D guy, right? And also, Sensabaugh's 22 years old, so he's even a couple years younger. So you get the younger guy, you get the better kind of two-way 3-and-D capable guy, right? And you get, to me, I just think if it's just a clean swap, which you see all the time. You see teams do it all the time, right? Like, hey, we got this young guy, we'll swap that young guy for this young guy just to kind of, see if maybe, your guy works for us and my guy works for you type thing, right? Easy, clean, boom. Worst case scenario, you do that, and he's out of the rotation. He's another Dalton Knecht. Okay, who cares, right? Like, you're in the same exact spot, right? Like, if it does work, you geniuses. You got another 22-year-old, 6'6", 3-and-D style guard. You got a guy that could slot in at the 2 for you as a starter off the bench, give you some athleticism, give you some defense, give you some shooting, right? At some point, you could have, he could slot in at your 3. So, you could have a Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, Sensabaugh, a Dude Thero, and a DeAndre Ayton starting 5 in 2 years, 3 years, whatever, right? Like, that would be best case scenario, right? He can't can't get much worse than the Dalton Knecht situation, where, I mean, again, he's basically unplayable at this point, right? Sensabaugh at least can, give you some defense and, like I said, get after it, has the athletic, chase down loose balls. He's more fluid out there. You look at on the season, he's averaging just under 9 points, 2.5 rebounds, and 1.5 assists on 41% shooting. So again, he's a guy that's giving production to Utah. It's just, like I said, in the recent weeks, he's kind of just fallen out of favor, right? And if you're the Lakers, you're going to have to take a chance, take a flyer on a guy at some point, and you have to do something with Dalton Knecht. Now, if I'm the Lakers, I would be waiting to see what package, like, make sure, because you don't want to do this and it messes up any type of trade that you do, right? So, like, this is something that I would do, like, trade deadline day. Right? Say you went and got an Andrew Wiggins, and you went and you got a Keon Ellis or whatever, and you still have Dalton Knecht on your team, and it's like, what do we do with Dalton Knecht? And it's like, let's swap him for Sensabaugh and see if he can wake up, right? Because, I mean, you look at Dalton Knecht, he's averaging 7 points, 2 rebounds, and I'll be nice around up and say an assist. He's shooting 46.5% from the field. Kind of go over their stats, and then we'll kind of wrap up the video here. Dalton Knecht this season, right? He's 19 games played, 1 game started. He's averaging 16 minutes per game. He's getting 5.3 field goal attempts per game. He's shooting 46.5% from the field. He's shooting 35.1% from 3 on 3 attempts. From 2-point range, he's shooting 61.4% on 2.3 attempts. EFG of 56.4%. Free throw shooting on just a hair under 1 attempt. He's shooting 66.7%. Last season, he was 76% on 1 full attempt. He's averaging 2 rebounds, an assist, half a steal, half a block, and 7 points per game. We'll round up 7 points per game. You look at his per 36, which doesn't tell you everything, kind of gives you an idea. He would be 15 points, 5 rebounds, 1.5 assists, a steal, a block, in that 36 minutes per game, right? You go on over to Sensabaugh, right, and you look up and pull up his stat line, right? He, for the season, is in 22 games, hasn't started any, getting you 15.6 minutes per game. So similar style minutes, right? Like, both guys are giving you about 15. Dalton Knecht's giving you 15.8. Sensabaugh's giving you 15.6. So, similar as far as minutes go. Then you're getting 7.1 field goal attempts, right? So slightly more field goal attempts. He's shooting 41%. I'll be nice. 40.8%. 3-point range. He's shooting 33.7%. Last season, he shot 42.2% on 5.2 attempts from 3-point range. So again, how much of that is him just kind of falling out of favor? Not just that, you're playing alongside Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves. Something to keep in mind. But again, this season, 34% basically on 4.5 attempts. So more 3-point attempts, shooting 1% worse, right? Dalton Knecht shooting 35, he's shooting 34, right? We'll call it 2% worse. But again, on more attempts. 2-point range, 52.5% on 2.7 attempts. EFG of 51.3% from the free throw line on 1.5 attempts. So he's taking more free throws, literally double the amount. 84.8%. Grabbing you 2.5 rebounds, getting you an assist, a steal, and half a block with 9 points per game. 8.6. If you look at his per 36, and his per 36 would be 20 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and half a block. He's better in every category, right? Give you more points, give you more production, give you more defense, give you everything. I like the trade. I think if you can do it and get it done, I think you should do it and get it done. But as always, this is a discussion. I pass the question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. Lets me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.